Okay, so Michelle, we're here to continue on speaking about the mastermind principles.
Yes.
We've completed the first step, which was I surrender, and at this moment we're going to move on to the second step, which is I believe, and it reads, I come to believe in a power greater than myself. I believe that living from my highest consciousness, the mastermind consciousness, does change my life.
Yeah.
So for me, living from that higher consciousness in doing these steps is really definitely is my goal. And actually, just reading this lights me up. Not to say that I always believe that, but that's the power of this step.
Yes. It's a lot of people have some caution around believing, right? Because for them, believing is giving yourself over to something, whether it's truth or not. It could be overwhelming, and they have it like, okay, if I give myself over to this thing I believe in, at some point in time I might not believe in it. Then what? Right? Then you adjust as you would anything else, right? So we're not saying that you have to ultimately believe what we say. We're saying try it out and see what difference believing this would make for you, right? Because it's a relationship that you're building. You're building a relationship with you, with your higher self, that which gives you good guidance from internally, right? Some people call it God. Some people relate to it as their good angel, right? Good angel, bad angel on either side, like the cartoons she used to show. But we're really looking at that which is best for you. And only you can say that, because you're the only one who knows you as well as you do, right?
Yeah, and in the first step, we look at, or you can look at for yourself that our ego is powerless. In this step, now we're moving from that powerlessness into really taking on a belief in again, as I've said, our higher consciousness and the mastermind consciousness. But the belief is important first, to at least be able then, as you said, to be able to explore it, to be a witness or observe in our lives. This is just the beginning. And to, as you do the steps, to really, again, in the observation of it, notice where our lives are changing. So that's...
Now, what would you, just throwing out a question here, what would you say to somebody if they're like, okay, I don't trust my own inner guidance. It's led me astray before, so why would I do it now?
Well, where it led you astray before. So, that may or may not have come from your ego. And in the willingness to take this on, to put in practice these 8 steps, it's an opportunity to go within again and take the next step. Or another step into really looking at that whole area of intuition. Maybe you didn't believe in intuition beforehand. So if you're willing, here's the opportunity.
Yeah, and we actually take the time to differentiate the ego from your higher self, because they're both operating at the same time, and quite often what has given you the information that's led you astray is egoic, like you say, but you won't know if you haven't examined it, right? And you won't be able to tell the difference until you examine it. It's like And you'll know over time, you'll know it gets easier, but you'll know. Just like if I'm your best friend and you're used to my voice, when I call you up, you know it's me. If somebody else calls you up and says, hey, this is Michelle, and you already know my voice, you could dismiss it. You could say, no, good try, but not not close enough. That's the same thing that will happen in your relationship from higher self versus ego. They have very similar voices because their voices are pretty much yours in there, right? And how you distinguish them is the relationship you build with them.
And you said examine, and it is also to recognize that these steps are a process. So that's what the second step has to offer. And Michelle will move on in the next podcast, unless you have something more to add to that, and we'll speak to the third step.
All right. Is there anything I want to add to this? Oh yeah, this is an opportunity to build trust in yourself, and it's quite often missing in people. So we really do a deep dive into what that would take, and the other processes in this series of steps will support you in making that happen. But if you have a willingness right here and now to believe, there's an opening to take the next steps.
Yeah. I was just going to say, examine oneself in terms of where is the resistance. Because the opposite of resistance is willingness.
Yes.
So even the question around intuition, the question to ask is, am I willing to take a deeper dive into really connecting with my intuition in a whole new place?
Indeed. Thank you, Sue. Okay,
so we'll just end this session at this moment, and to all who may be listening to this, we'll be moving on into the third step in our next video.
All right. See you.
All right.